Hey, hi, Cheryl ma'am. Hello. Good evening.
Hi, good evening.
First of all, happy Yoga Day. I messaged you, but now I can talk to you personally about that. Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much. Thank you so much.
Okay, for all the people on the live session, I would like to introduce Cheryl ma'am. Actually, Cheryl ma'am is I think younger than me by age, but she is my guru in yoga for I think more than 5 months now, and she has got yoga into my life, and she is an amazing trainer. Basically, she is an embryologist by profession, but as she mentions, she is a yoga practitioner and a facilitator by passion. So that is what. And when I get trained under her, I can see that passion. And she's one of the teachers who is like no nonsense. If you're on the mat, dedicate yourself to the mat, and that is the best thing about Cheryl ma'am that I like. So
Thank you
Cheryl
so
ma'am,
much.
welcome to the Insta live. Thank you for accepting the request to be live.
Thank
And
you.
as it is Yoga Day, I felt no other person than you whom I know in yoga who can give the best to all the people on this live today. So thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much. Thank you so much for having me here, Sujit.
I think it has been a busy day for you from morning, from the Mumbai
Yeah,
Runners Ka
we
live
had a
session and
few,
all those.
yeah, and then I had a session with Glenmark, then I had another session, and now I have this. So it's been quite a day today.
Great. So let's start with the session, ma'am.
Sure?
Yeah. So, ma'am, I had always wondered. You started your fitness by going to the gym. You were quite a
Yeah,
gym person, I think. I have seen a lot of snaps of you
yeah.
with the six packs and all doing in the gym, and then to a running, and then to yoga. How is this
Yeah.
transition been? Was it running first, gymming second, or gymming first and then running? How is it?
Running first actually. So about four and a half years back, I realized that it's high time I got into something that is going to help me out. And the easiest thing I think anyone does, Sujit, is just go for a run. I mean, it's non-expensive. You don't have to pay for it. You just need yourself. You don't need like a buddy to come with you. At least initially you get there, so you feel like, okay. So I started around my building thinking, okay, do I have the stamina or no? Eventually I realized, yes, yeah, maybe, I can do this. So I took it to the road. A few months later, I started participating in runs because I saw them all over, every Sunday. You know how it is. Every Sunday there are runs everywhere. So then I started with that, and then joints motion came into my life. So one of the biggest change that happened, and I started conditioning, I started training. They had both a marathon wing and they had like a studio training. But eventually the studio training caught up to me. It was a high going to the gym. It wasn't traditional lifting of weights, but it was all to do with body weight and stuff like that. So that kind of got into me. But after about 2+ years into this, I had like an injury and I had to take some time off to recover. That's when yoga actually came into my life. And anyway, it was an injury. I couldn't do much. So I started off with yoga and I realized that, everything changed going forward. So that's been some journey there.
Perfect, perfect. And ma'am, I've seen your passion for yoga. So, what is yoga for you actually? What you feel yoga is? What has yoga done to you? So, what you would like to say about that?
I think for me, yoga is like a path. It's a path to different things, but most importantly, I think it's a path of discipline because many times people feel that yoga is like, yeah, who's going to go? It's so boring. What do you do whole day? And you have nothing. You don't even break a sweat and things like that. But I've eventually realized that it leads you not just to the practice, but even off the mat, it keeps that discipline in your life. Any sport for that matter is discipline, but I think for me, it's brought about a sense of consciousness and awareness not just on about the body, but also awareness to a great extent about um, people around me, my reactions, what I do, what I say. So I think that's been a big change. And if I want to keep this practice, it's because of the additional benefits that I have got from the practice. So, like I tell everyone, be steady with your practice. Always think of it as long term. You don't want practice to be something that you want to do it for 1 year or 2 years and then say, okay, I'm done with it. So I think yoga is that to me, a sense of awareness, discipline, and consciousness. That's a big change in my life.
And how are you able to connect life and yoga, ma'am? Because I have always seen whenever you start with a session, you always connect it to life, saying exhaling your ego, concentrate on your breath. And also, how do you relate this? Is it actually like yoga is connected to the life, or is there a way to this?
So for me, I think yes, it's extrapolated beyond my mat, and that's the kind of joy I want to bring in people's life. It's while it's very exciting to get into a new posture, I also want to tell people that there's something beyond this. It's fine. You don't have to do yoga for fitness, because I know people are doing like running, gymming, and playing and all sorts of things. But I think I want to take this a little beyond fitness, and that's why I feel there is so much of a connection. Like whatever we do, when I go in for an inversion class, there's so much of fear, right? And inversions. And that's what we have in life. There is fear. Life is not easy. We don't go about thinking that, we can get about anything. Every day we live in fear of what's going to happen. Today it's the pandemic, you don't know what's going to happen. So that kind of fear is always there. So I feel whatever I do gets extrapolated outside the mat. And I like to condition my students to thinking that it is beyond that. And I feel, Sujit, that, a lot of people do connect with it. And then they do feel that, it's brought this sense of, being in the moment, being present. And every time they want to tackle something, they remember their experience of practice. So I think for me, it is always that kind of connection.
I think when I am speaking to, I can realize there are some people who practice yoga, some people who do it for passion, but I think you live yoga. The way you speak about yoga now, it's in this 2-3 minutes that it is all vibrating on your face. The way you speak
Thank
about yoga,
you. Thank you
it is
so much.
actually, and I think that is what is leading you to the path that you're going, I suppose.
Yes, definitely, definitely. I think there is nothing better than being an example. There are lots of people who can talk about different things, like, you do this, you do that, but you look at their life and then you feel, okay, she only talks about it, she doesn't live that. And I think always from when I've been small, my parents have always taught me to set an example by being one. You can't just talk to people and tell them. I can't tell someone, have the sense of discipline, wake up at 4 o'clock, and I get up at 10 o'clock, I go and do all sorts of things. So I want to bring that practice into my life. So then there is no scope of being fake, because that's what you're living. And then it just shows, and people do read, people read through you.
So how many times in a day do you practice, ma'am? I think I see you on the social media all the time. You're doing some or the other asana. So how many times in a day do you practice this?
Well, I think it's quite a bit, because I take up 2 classes as group. Then I do a few private sessions. So I still practice with them. And then I have this practice for myself. So I take some time to do some things. Lately, because of the time constraints and taking up so many classes, I've made my practice very small. So 20 minutes every time I get, like maybe in the morning, maybe sometime in the afternoon or evening, I like to get into like a quick practice and get this done. So I think multiple number of times in a day.
So in a day, I think around 6 to 8 hours you are in yoga, right? You are with yoga.
6 hours at least, definitely into the practice, either teaching or practicing, and more than that, reading and understanding. So for me, you must be knowing this. Like, I don't like just explaining what the asana is or how to do it. How to do it, I think plenty of people can tell you. But I like to go a little more deeper, like maybe into the anatomy, the biomechanics, because once you understand that, your approach towards your practice becomes so different, right? You understand the science behind it. You know why you're doing certain things. It's not like, okay, sab kar rahe to main bhi karta hu kinds, You come one step ahead and you understand that logic of why you're doing this. So yeah, lots of reading and understanding.
And that is what actually it makes easier for the students also to do it when you actually explain them the basics.
Absolutely, absolutely. Otherwise, it becomes very overwhelming. Okay, I don't think I can do this. But when you break it down and see, all you have to do is 1, 2, 3, and 4. Maybe today you are at step 1, but 4 is accessible. You can reach to 4 one day. But if I just show you the asana and you'll say, okay, this is so, next to impossible. I can't do this kind of stuff. So that's where understanding has come into a big, big part.
Also, ma'am, nowadays people are getting into yoga. What I have seen, basically, I might be wrong, but what people are getting into yoga is when they see the fancy stuffs being done on yoga and they want to go to that. And that is why many people get into yoga.
Yeah.
So what would be your suggestion to people who want to start with some yoga and not just posting a asana on the International Yoga Day? Because I think that is the one day when everyone practices yoga, and after that, no one bothers to continue it. So what would be your advice to people who want to start with yoga practice?
This might, be very surprising, but like I told you, it's a way of life, right? It's a discipline. It's your lifestyle. Yoga is just not about doing an asana. But having said that, Sujit, I started my practice just as asanas, right? So I got very motivated by people who were doing things, the grace, the flexibility, the mere strength of doing something. Eventually, it led me to understanding that this is beyond just an asana practice. But if someone is approaching the practice just as physical, I will not say, no, it's wrong. You have to go beyond this. You have to do pranayam and meditation and kriyas and, internal work and cleansing. Because I'm nobody to tell them what to do, but I'm somebody to help them open their eyes towards the path. So today, there's so many kinds: Ashtanga, Hatha, hot yoga, Bikram yoga, power yoga, so many kinds of practices. And one feels like, what should I do? What should I not do? Just like how when you got into running or gymming, you try doing certain things. Some things connect with you. Sometimes you feel this just doesn't connect with you. You can't do it. I think you should allow yourself to experience certain aspects and then see what suits you. You can't force yourself into anything. If you force, it is very short term. So I think once you get the right teacher to guide you, I think your concepts slowly change and then you can go deeper into your practice. So for anyone who wants to start out with yoga, I think it's so much needed right now from that high intensity of life that we are living, to just slow down a little bit, to just be in the pace and to, just bring everything down to a level 0. I think yoga has been such a blessing. And I think everyone should try it, even if they don't like it. Maybe see, who knows where it might lead you. Sometimes it might just end up, being something that you might enjoy. So I think that's my advice to everyone. Come and try and see where that path goes.
Actually, in fact, when I started yoga, I also started with the intention that calmness, quietness, aisa rahega. Right. But then when I joined you, it was like intense, the way it has been done. I have never, it's only when I run that I sweat so much, and then in your session that I sweat so much.
Wow.
So how is it done basically, ma'am? What I want to ask is, when you do so much of intense practice, now for some people, yoga they see is like shavasana, or they sitting calm. Right. And the second way is where we all do is the intense one. So how does this match?
I'll tell you why your practice becomes intense. So a lot of people are joining because they want some movement. So what I want to do is I want to bring about a balance. Like some of the days the class is very slow. You feel like, okay, you're doing an intense workout. You're doing deep stretches, but you're not sweating because you're tired. You're sweating because you're just being in the movement and just letting be there, right? That's why that movement is becoming intense for you, but it's not like a running intense or a gymming intense. The intense itself is calming. It's very weird for people who don't know, who have not done the practice, don't understand. If I were to tell you this, Sujit, before you joined, you would be like, I don't get it. How can intense be calm? But you have come to sessions, you sweat it out. And when you end your session, you just feel like, wow, what just happened to me, right? That sense of calmness coming in. So I am always of the thought that you need to do some amount of intense movement. you need to challenge yourself to some level. Because if you don't challenge yourself, it is just like saying that, okay, you know what, I have all this potential, but let me not explore it. So I want people to explore their potential. I want them to understand that, yes, I can also do this. What is in me that I can't achieve it? And then go into breath controlled movements. So your intense workout comes from just breathing into the postures. And I think that is what is intense to me. And my intense has changed over time, because 4 years back, intense was lifting your body weight and calisthenics and rope climbing. Then intense became running great distances, a half marathon, maybe more. And now intense became just being on the mat and breathing, because that is the most difficult thing to do. You go running, there's so much of high, right? You're all the time pumped up, but stay on the mat. Can you be pumped up just breathing? I think that will bring a big difference to your life. I'm sure you
Correct.
agree with me. Doing different
Right.
things, you do understand the difference.
Absolutely, absolutely. Whenever someone visits your Insta profile and they look at all the asanas, first thing they think is, "Arey, this is all crazy. मतलब कैसे
Right,
इतना bending कैसे होता है?" That is the first thing.
right,
Second, they say, "Okay, I also want to do this."
right,
Third, when they start doing, they realize it is not as easy as it seems.
right.
And then fourth, either they continue or they say, "This is not my cup of tea," because they expect the
Absolutely,
results fast.
absolutely.
So, what you would like to tell those people who want results fast?
Many people join class telling me, these are my goals. I want to headstand, I want to handstand, I want to do this, I want to do that, chakrasan, XYZ. How much time do you think it will take? And sometimes it feels so funny, because I can't really tell you. Your body has to be ready to open. And because every class I tell you that it is not just a physical opening. The mind has to open, right? So sometimes we feel so much of hurt and ego and wounds are in our body. They're lodged in different places. And some days you feel, okay, I just want to let this go. I want to forgive this person. And suddenly you feel, it's easy. It's easy to go into that forward fold. Your body feels so light. So I do feel there is a connection. When someone comes and approaches me saying that these are my only requirements, I generally don't cater. I don't support. I don't say that, okay, you come, I will teach you all this. I like to tell them to think of the practice as holistic. The greatest thing is, ma'am, can I do yoga? Will I lose weight? The biggest question, can I do yoga? Will I lose weight? I want to join yoga for weight loss. I think that is where I kind of put my foot down to saying that, listen, while you can lose weight, it's going to be a journey, and it's all about how much you give. Like, Sujit, people can go to gyms, can do tabatas and still not lose weight, because you'll come back and eat all you want. There is no sense of discipline in your food. Or you can just do walks and be super fit, because you know what to eat, when to eat, how much to sleep. So discipline becomes very, very, prompt there. So for people who just approach the practice as, I have XYZ goals, I like to tell them, maybe let's take this as calisthenics and let's not take this as yoga per se. Let's not bring it in that discipline. And no matter what, I've realized, once people join, eventually everyone's mentality changes. Hopefully, I play some role in changing their mentality, but I think in a few classes, they do understand, nahi hoga, if I don't stay with my practice, I'm not going to get this. And slowly
Definitely
they
you do.
accept that. I do? Okay, thank you, thank you. That makes so much sense. It's really nice to get this feedback that it's not just physical aspect that has changed, so many more aspects have changed, and that brings a lot of joy to me, because that's all I started this journey for. So it's
Did you
nice.
start it thinking that you will become a teacher, yoga teacher, anytime before, or it happened
Never.
accidentally? How did it happen?
Um, it did happen accidentally. I was actually learning with my teacher. And my teacher has taught me the basics, been with me, handheld me and everything, been such a great support. But then my teacher went to learn for himself, right? So he wanted to take this time to go and explore and learn more. And that's what I like about teachers, where they feel that this is not over. I have to keep learning. If I have to share, I have to learn. And it was a big decision to say, okay, I'm no longer taking class because I'm going to go spend time to learn for myself. So he requested me saying that, can you please continue classes? Because, everyone's been so interested and now it's become like a family. Can you please take up and continue with the classes? So I said, okay, I'm going to teach as much as I know. And every other co-student felt that there's so much that I can share. I said, okay, all right, then let me start. So from there I started, and I realized people welcomed me. They received the knowledge that I shared. And then I started getting addicted to sharing that knowledge. So I said, okay, I'm going to read more and more and understand and keep sharing. So from there, I have realized one thing, that my learning will never stop. If I stop learning, then I think there is nothing for me to share, because I don't get enough of knowledge then to share that knowledge. So I think he's been the biggest aspiration or inspiration for me to teach and then to continue this journey. And once I started, I think there was no looking back. Though professionally I'm not into fitness or yoga, I'm into something, which is medical and everything. It still attracted me and took me into it. So that's how teaching started.
Is there any particular age where people should not be doing yoga? They can start doing yoga, or it is for anyone?
I will always say it is for anyone. There is nothing like, you should not do it. But yeah, medical conditions, physical or emotional, psychological, there's so many conditions I can put them down and say that maybe it's, you got to do things with precautions. You need to understand how you're doing certain things. But everyone's welcome to the practice, everyone needs to understand and experience the practices. It's so beautiful that I feel if you don't experience it, you're really missing on something. And I did not know that for 30 plus years of my life, and now I feel kids should be exposed, and not only to yoga. I'm really not biased. Kids should be exposed to all kinds of fitness. They should be allowed to choose. But bring that platform in front of them, and then I think things can slowly change. So I don't feel anyone who says I'm 60 or I'm 50, can I start now? I don't think I will say don't, but I will definitely take care depending on what their conditions are. Recently, I've come to study a lot that people, because of, what happened with Sushant Singh and, so much about depression and mental health came up. The more I'm reading, I'm also understanding that aspects like meditation and things like that are really not for clinically depressed people. You have to really help them and guide them into coming into the process of meditation. So again, physiological, psychological problems, I want to step it down, scale it down and help them out. But otherwise, the mat is open for everyone to come, learn and experience.
Since you started this mental health thing, you brought up on the topic, I would like to ask you, because I think last 3 months you are alone at home, I suppose. So
Yes.
How has been this 3 months? Because I understand how difficult it would be for someone who is so used to being with people personally, meeting friends, family. How has this 3 months been to you, ma'am?
Some days bad, some days really bad, and most of the days good and very good. But it gets to you, right? I have not seen my own people, or I have not even hugged on to people, right? So I am very kinesthetic in nature. You see me, I'm always with my friends. I like giving a warm hug whenever I meet my friends. So I'm missing all of that, and that's been really, really hard. Some days so bad that I could not imagine that I could go into being this sad or this lonely, But my family has kept me, they've always been reaching out to me, calling me, checking on me. Even though my siblings are not in India, they are at a different time zone. They still manage to keep a check on me. My friends are checking on me. But it gets to you. It's gotten to me. And if, in this platform, I really want to say that when people say, okay, you're doing yoga practice and you're going to be all calm and nice. No, I'm doing my practice. I'm doing everything, but it gets to me. There are days it gets to me, and it's hard. It's very, very hard some days. So only the aspect that I can come back to my mat and just lie down on my mat gives me some amount of satisfaction. It has not tipped me to the side where I might go into really being sulking or depressed or really sad. But yeah, it's bad. In between, I lost my uncle, which was also something that came as a shock to us. So dealing with that, because suddenly you feel, what is life? Yeah. I mean, at the end of it, you didn't even get to meet your people. You didn't get to say your goodbyes, you know. And that stirred up a lot of emotions in me. Those few days were the worst in my lockdown. But yeah, slowly hoping for a new
because
tomorrow.
because I know people with their family at their home safe and they're complaining. Arey,
Yeah,
lockdown, that is why I brought up this topic so that people understand how it feels to be alone.
yeah,
When
yeah.
you have people around family, it is a different, but still you complain.
I know. And when I've been talking to people with families, they say, Acha, your problem is different, our problem is different. I do understand, You're in the same environment, same people, and you get irritated. You're shouting, somebody's shouting, kids are screaming. They are also tired. Arey, meko jana hai bahar khelne ke liye. Because they don't understand what the pandemic is. Everyone's fighting their own battle. I'm not saying I am braver than someone who has a family. Not at all. Everyone's fighting their battle. But I never thought I will experience this in life. I chose to be, single. I chose to live this life. And any day, I will never regret my decision. But I didn't think there would be a time I would be locked up at home. And that took for 3-4 months. And I think this is going to go till at least July, August. So sometimes that fear becomes a lot. But most of the days, it's good. It's fine. They go on.
But these 3 months have taught a lot of things, right? It has taught a lot of things.
So many. And when I share certain things with some of my closest people, they always tell me, you're going to be one hard nut, when you're going to come out of this, Cheryl. Nobody will probably be as hard as you, because you went through all this being alone, having no support and having nothing at all. So I still feel blessed because there's so many people to check on me. That thought always comes to my head. What about those who have nobody? Maybe lost families and living alone, or not living in very helpful environments. So I try to tell myself I'm far better off, have that gratitude, have that sense of being happy. But humans, right? We all are humans at the end of it. You can't
Absolutely
claim to be better because you practice. Never.
correct. And I also heard, or I read your post somewhere where you said you have not subscribed to any of the Amazons or the Netflix, nothing. So I was wondering, how can you manage without all these things?
No, but in between, I did my friends gave me their IDs so that I could just watch something to take my mind off. So initially, for the 2.5 months, I was like off everything. I never did anything. But when they really saw me getting into this depression, or just feeling sad, they were like, you know what, just Friends, nothing else. Watch an episode of Friends, because I always liked Friends, and they're like, get back there, you'll feel okay about it. But I think with all my practice and my learning, 6-7 hours of the day is going in that. I get very little time to actually sit and see something that is entertaining. But it feels nice to take my mind off and see some. I'm very happy I'm not addicted. I still, I don't know how many people have maintained their routine during lockdowns, but I'm still sleeping at 10 o'clock, waking up at 5 o'clock. I want to keep my schedule, because you're going to get back to normal life. And then you can't say one fine day, oh, all these days I was getting up at 10 o'clock, let me start getting up at 5 o'clock, let me start being healthy. Aise to nahi hoga na. You got to keep your life continuing. So it feels nice, and that's why my first class is at 6 o'clock. So everyone else also wakes up at 5:30. And
Okay,
yeah, it helps everyone, I guess.
nice. So what would you want to advise people who feel alone? Basically, this pandemic has brought about a lot of new things, like way you said about mental health. So what would you like to tell people who are actually low, or they do not get support the way you are lucky enough, I would say, because you got the
Yeah,
support of your friends, your
yeah.
family. But there are people who do not get that. when they need, not only during this pandemic or any stage of their life. So what would your advice be to them?
I'll tell you honestly, Sujit, from my heart, I would say I don't know what to say. I'm nobody better than someone. And I'll tell you, all this has come from experience. I have dealt with friends who were into mental health illness and who were depressed. And at that time, you can tell them all nice things. Look at the positive sides, express gratitude, work out, move, meet friends, go for a meal. When you're in good mental health, you can tell anybody anything. I'll tell you, Sujit, wake up, do something. Maybe because you will do it. You are in good mental health. You will feel one day, arey, aaj bore ho raha hai, but tomorrow you will get up and do. But imagine once you go into the spiral down, when I tell you life is beautiful, you'll just look at me and you'll say, just get lost. Because life is not beautiful, right? That is why my advice is, when you're in good mental health, start cultivating habits so that when you tip into bad health, you still have all these habits to help you. But when you feel extremely lonely, sometimes I feel just experience that loneliness. See, it's a feeling at the end of it. You don't want to run away from any feeling. You feel happy, you also have to feel sad. If there is rain, there is also sun. You can't say, I want only rain all the time or I want only sun all the time. So you got to find this balance. So sometimes I feel when you feel lonely, it's fine, sit down, write it down somewhere why you feel lonely. So at least you are putting your emotions out into a book that is not judging you. No judgments from the book. Some people like talking to their pets like a dog. Obviously, the dog will not say, "Arey, tujhe aisa karna chahiye tha waisa." That is a nice thing. Or if you have a confidant, you have a person whom you can just call up and talk, then please do that. I don't want to put up saying, I'm there 24 hours, call me. I'm not, because I don't know you and I can't help you. But you might have that one person. And if you don't, I think writing is my biggest help. So I started all these things, which has helped me when I'm lonely right now. Otherwise, I think I would have also experienced a lot of pain. So I want to tell people who are struggling that you should, if it's gone to a level that you can't handle, you should seek professional help, not just help from people who you think can talk to you. Professional help, because they will help you out. And there is nothing wrong in seeking professional help. And if you feel you're tipping towards that side, that yaar, mujhe pata chal raha hai, my mood is not good, please start writing, keeping a gratitude journal. I know when you experience thankfulness, your mood immediately changes. When you say, okay, all these things are happening in my life, but I'm really grateful, yeah, internet hai, I can talk to somebody, or I can see something, or I can take my mind off something, then that helps. So honestly, I'm no expert to tell what to do, what not to do. And I do understand what it is. I just want to say that when you're in good health, cultivate good habits. It will come handy when you're not in the best of the health. And all of us will go through that cycle. So I think now is a good time to start. Yeah, makes sense?
Also, in case anyone among you wants to ask question, you are free to write in. We'll ask the question to ma'am. That means what you are trying to tell is, ऐसे situation में people don't need advice. They need a listening ear.
Not
that is what people
all.
need.
Absolutely. Yeah. Advice is the worst thing you can tell people, but our tendency is to advise. अरे ऐसा नहीं यार, बाहर जा, तू थोड़ा अच्छा लगेगा. They didn't ask you, मैं क्या करूं? They already know बाहर जाने से अच्छा लगेगा, but they are not going to go out. They are not going to get up from that bed. So clinical depression has various states. I mean, people started putting out posts saying, you should meditate, you should do yoga, you should do this, you should eat healthy, you should run, you should exercise. But the person is not ready to get up from the bed. Understand that they have gone into a level that is beyond your help. They need someone else to help them out. So all you can do is just hold that person's hand and sit. Sona hai, theek hai. Sleep as long as you want. But the person will change when you're constantly there for the person, not offering advice, just listening. One day the person will come out and then they'll say, okay, you know what, let's go for a walk. And from there, that journey of healing starts. See, for everything, Sujit, I think if you don't want to change, Nobody or nothing in this universe can bring about a change. First step is understanding I want to change. But when you are really sad, you don't understand that concept, I want to change. You just say, whatever is happening is right, I'm right, you are wrong. You don't understand my pain. Like maybe my dad passed away. Like, personal losses, they become sad. Or I had a breakup. Or my friends backstabbed me. It's very personal. So when somebody else tells, yeah, but you have other friends, you'll be like, but that person backstabbed me, right? So you go into that zone, and only you can help yourself. You can get help from elsewhere, but the biggest help comes from within. So make yourself really, really strong when you are in good health. So it will help you when you're not in good health. That's my forever.
Perfect. Right. Also, ma'am, I wanted to ask is before yoga, I think because why I'm asking is there are a lot of people who are behind becoming thin. I want to become thin. I want to lose weight. I want to become thin.
Right.
But what I understand is before yoga, you were much thinner than what you're today. But I think now you are more healthy.
Yes.
Than what you're before. So I want you to tell people why not focusing on thinning, losing weight, but focus more on health. Why to become more healthy is important.
You know what the general concept is? If somebody is thin, they are healthy. I don't know kahan se aaya, but the concept is if a person is heavy, no, this person is not healthy. And if a person is thin, the person is healthy. First, that concept has to be changed. So I was overweight and I started running and I started gymming and I became really, really lean. And I thought, my fat percentage came down to about 15%, which was such a big achievement for me. And I was only bothered about body fat. Kya hai, ye kya hai, visceral fat kitna hai. I was so into it that I felt like, let's just go and be thin. Then I started doing yoga and I realized I'm not very much bothered how much protein I ate, how much carbs I ate. I just let it be. So obviously I put on some more weight, but I realized I became more healthy. I became more strong mentally and physically. And I said, what's a big deal? I can be, as thin as a stick, or I can be a little more heavy, but I can be more healthy. Concept to understand is that you should be healthy, not thin first. Second, you should be into some amount of movement and fitness, whatever be it. Third, always choose to eat healthy. So I'm not saying eat protein rich food or eat fat rich food, go into ketos, or I don't vouch all of that. I just say eat healthy. And fourth, which many of us miss, is sleep adequate. With the stress, people don't sleep, and especially people who are heavy. I don't lose weight, I didn't eat anything, still I put on weight. Every day they stand on the weighing scale. All of that starts affecting you. So I think let go of the concept of heavy and just throw your weighing scale. You don't need to stand on a weighing scale. What you need to know is, how's my energy level? Do I feel good? At the end of the day, do I have the same amount of energy like I started? Am I up to do an activity? If someone says, hey, that's a trek, you want to go? I'm not saying you'll climb, but do you have the moods to go for it? That is what is important. So stay there. I think that really helps. Just numbers on a scale doesn't matter.
Because this is very important nowadays. People are so much, because I get a lot of people like this कि मेरे को weight कम करा, मेरा शादी है, मेरे को 5 किलो 10 किलो एक महीने में कम करा, and I tell them go to a carpenter, वही 10 किलो कम करा देगा एक महीने में.
Yeah. शादी है. See, these important things, there is a party, I have to lose weight. There is a wedding, I have to lose weight. There is a function, I have to lose weight. So function के बाद क्या हुआ? खत्म. The goal is over. You had a very short-sighted goal. I have to go for a vacation. I want to lose weight. After that, what happened? For me, it is, I have to remain healthy. And my biggest goal, Sujit, is when I'm 90, if I live, as long as I live, I should still be able to go to my mat, do my asanas, get up and be up for any task. That's all. That is what I want to see myself when I'm 90. Not a six-pack abs or, huge biceps or being able to lift or box someone. That is not my goal. My goal is to be able to be up for anything. You tell me, grandma, chalo, walk pe jate, I should be able to get up and come for a walk. That's where I want to reach. That's why slow and steady into the practice.
Just for your information, ma'am, since you spoke about the goal, I just read today the oldest lady to do a yoga teacher, be a yoga teacher at 96.
Yep.
So you can also achieve that. Now you will, definitely you will. You will.
Yeah,
So
she's
also,
inspiring.
ma'am, how do you feel about pregnant ladies doing yoga? Till when they should do, or is it advisable for them to do yoga? How is it?
So two things, prenatal, postnatal, like pregnancy and even post-pregnancy. One, if you're always into fitness, like a person who's into gymming, running, or aerobics, any kind of fitness, they know their body. It's safe to do. Trust me, it's even safe to practice yoga for all 9 months. I will not say that it is not safe, but it depends on what kind of fitness journey you had before you got pregnant. You didn't do anything, but you got pregnant, abhi mujhe karna hai, then you might be at a risk. Second, it's very important to go to a trained person, not anyone who says, start do jumping jacks, nothing will happen. Pregnant mein kuch nahi hota hai, ab jumping jacks karo. It could be okay for someone who's a very fit person, maybe they can do jumping jacks. I'm not against it. But I feel you should be safe in your practice. And post pregnancy, many people feel all this weight, now I have to start losing. So within 15 days, within 1 month, they all want to get back into, let me start, let me start. I think give your time to heal. I haven't experienced childbirth, but people say that if you like go for a natural childbirth, it feels like 52 bones in your body just broke at the same time. That's the pain. Imagine one bone. If 52 bones broke at one time, don't you think you want to give at least 52 days of rest? Baki to chodo. 1 day for one bone. So if you feel at least I can't give myself that much amount of rest, then I'm torturing my body. What's the point in achieving any goal if I torture my body? So I feel it's very safe to practice during pregnancy. It's also very safe to get back to practice after pregnancy. And I know yoga teachers, I have seen yoga teachers during being pregnant. And one of my, person I really followed was Deepika Mehta. She just delivered about maybe 50, 60 days back. After 40 days, she went out for her first walk. And this is a woman who's been practicing yoga from 20 years. Take some clue from people who are practicing, right? Just not go into it because, Arey, meko sab aata hai. She was handstanding even during her pregnancy because she was a good handstander, a good hand balancer. So she knew her body. She knew it was safe to do it. But only after 40 days, she started stepping out for small walks, then come to the mat, Surya Namaskars, and then go into it. So please understand and respect your body. It's not a joke, you just can't throw your body into anything. I think that is what I feel. Whether pregnancy, post-pregnancy, anytime, respect your body. But to answer your question, yes, it's very safe to do your practice. Just
And
guidance.
as you said about headstand, handstand, how important is to do headstand if you're doing yoga? Is it necessary or because, yeah.
0% important. See, doing a headstand, right? Now I do it without a wall and I do all sorts of variations. I'll say somebody does it with the wall. They kick up their leg and stay against the wall. What happened? Benefit is the same, right? Somebody took the wall support. Somebody did not take the wall support. Maybe their core was more stronger, so they didn't need the wall. This person needed the wall. What happened at the end of it? Nothing. World will not end. So I feel all these postures are just to challenge yourself. To say, I want to go out of my comfort zone. Can I do this? That is what asana practice is to me. A challenge to my capabilities. To say that someone can do it, I can also do if I train right, if I get the right guidance. But all these posture goals, I feel they're not important at all. They're not important. You get amazing benefits from doing warrior one. Tell me how many times will people do a warrior one and warrior two? Arey, warrior one, Veerbhadrasan, kisko karna hai? Bore hota hai. But my God, your inner thighs, your quads, your hips, you get so much of benefit. Nobody is bothered. I want to do headstand, handstand. That's become the ultimate goal. Though it's, of course, amazing to do a handstand, the amount of coordination and strength and balance and focus you need. But start small, right? Can you stay 5 minutes in a simple asana? Then it will talk about how stable your mind is. Then let's talk about doing handstand, because then you will get your stability of mind there. That's what I feel.
I think people advertise Shirsasan, Bakasan more because these are crowd pullers. Once they come, then they know what real yoga is.
See, Sujit, I won't say it's wrong for teachers to do that, because see, ultimately everyone's here to have a livelihood, right? So teachers
Absolutely.
who are teaching also need to make money, and whether it's yoga or any other practice, somebody is teaching,
True.
they need to eat, they need to feed their family. So you need to put things which will attract the crowd. I'm not saying no, but once you come, then maybe your sense of practice also changes, and the student also feels, yeah, this is all exciting to see, but I have understood that there is a journey. So it's good. You put all sorts of advertisements, no problem at all. You can even say, you want to learn this, I will teach you, come to me. But then you understand the student's capacity and then slowly try and train them. I feel there's nothing wrong in advertising, Everyone's here to take care of themselves and their family. No
True.
one's here to give freebies all the time. So respect people who are teaching. That's I feel very, very apt.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You
And the
you can't
best
tell
thing part
anything.
about your practice, what I like is you call it as a practice and not as just a workout. Because
Yeah,
that keeps in the mind, it's an ongoing process when you say it is practice.
very true. I have not even said yoga asanas. I have always said practice. This has always been, because for me, practice is something that will go on lifelong. It is a sense of practice. So you keep doing it. You practice word itself means keep doing it again and again. Practice, 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 never ending. If I say workout, it might finish. If I say asana, it might just be that posture. But if I say practice, it never gets over. And for me, it's always been practice. I love
Super.
to associate it with practice.
Then that keeps some sense of inside us also that it is an ongoing learning. You
Yeah,
cannot stop at one point. Every day you have to
absolutely.
get back and start doing it again.
Absolutely, absolutely. And some days are good. See, some days you can do great things. Some days are bad. You're down. Your mood is down. You can't do, great things. It's okay. It was still a practice, right? You still came, and you went back learning something. Maybe that learning was, yeah, when I'm disturbed, right? I can't concentrate. You learned that, but you did learn something. There was nothing like you will go out of a class without learning.
Correct.
That's where I come from.
One final thing, ma'am, how important is rest? Because today, nowadays, I see a lot of people doing 7 days workout without rest, giving rest. So how important is rest and how often they have to take this?
Sujit, I can talk for 1 hour on just rest, because I studied hormones and biomechanics of rest. And people just feel it's physical, right? You're exerted, you sleep, you rest, you feel better. And this big question comes. It's all in the mind. It's a mind game. Push yourself, sab ho jayega. But somewhere your body is giving you signals that I'm done. Like me, like you said, 7 days. I'm doing 7 days because I'm teaching. There's either a private or there is a group class. Some of the days I'm so exhausted. I want to say, you know what? I don't want to take any classes anymore. I just want to sleep throughout the day, because I'm that exhausted internally. I feel that all my hormones have gone upper niche because I have not rested. That is the only reason I'm off all my devices by 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock. I sleep no matter what. I need to be on my bed at 10. I need to switch off blue light, because I feel that is going to reset my metabolism. That is going to reset my hormones. So to tell you, rest is most important. I how often should you rest depends on how intense workouts you do. But if you are into a high intensity workout, I would suggest rest even maybe twice a week. If you're into moderate to low intensity, maybe at least once a week. And when I mean rest, it's complete rest. Acha, मैं थोड़ा ना 3 kilometers भाग के आता हूँ. That is not rest. Rest is rest. Rest is not doing anything. Is okay if you just walk, laze around and walk just because you want to get some fresh air. But otherwise, complete rest. If you see many people, they still have small paunch no matter how much a workout they do. And I recently understood that it is because of a hormone cortisol. There is so much of cortisol produced during stress, and it gets, all of your energy converted, but then you don't use all of that energy, and that cortisol just keeps that energy, thinking you will go into stress again. So it was not really your food, it was actually the response to stress. That's why I tell that exercise is stress. Good or bad, that's up to you. But it is stress to your body. So please, please rest. Especially in the lockdown, people are doing workout 1, workout 2, workout 3. I don't know, subah ko, sham ko, dopahr ko, everyone's working out. There's so much of craze about working out. Remember, that's going to be short term. So ideally you need 20 to 30 minutes of movement every day. If you're looking for a weight loss or a regime that is more important, maybe 45 minutes, 1 hour, that's it. Ideally 4 days a week to 5 days, if you must 6 days, but not 7 days definitely. Rest is very, very important.
Correct. I think this
it's
has been
also
fantastic.
nice to go into a digestive rest also. Like take off eating, go into some hours of fasting. It's just not physical. Rest becomes internal rest, rest from social media, rest from watching the screen, rest from eating even if it's healthy. Just take a break. Do like 1 day fast, have your breakfast and then don't eat till dinner. Like give that time for the body. If you can't do intermittent, if you can't do 12 hours, 16 hours, then give your body some amount of rest so that it can repair. Our body is such a beautiful machine. It repairs by itself. We just don't give it a chance to repair. We are in such a hurry that we only want results. We don't see internally kitna kaam kar raha hai. Then the whole body is a machine, right? Someday it will get tired and it will give up then. It'll say, bas ho gaya. Isse zyada to I can't do anything to you. So yeah, rest is very, very important.
It has been an amazing session, ma'am, with all the insights. So
Thank
well you
you.
explained basic things about yoga, about fitness, about mental health. I think everything got covered in this short span of time. And it was like you
Thank you
can
so
just go on
much.
and go on and go on and
I
go on.
know. Thank
So
you so much,
thank you
Sujit,
very
for
much.
having me.
It's always a pleasure, ma'am. It's a pleasure for me being able to talk to my teacher about the entire yoga, fitness, everything. So thank you very much for accepting this invitation and giving your valuable time, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sujit. Thank everyone who's here and who's been a part of this. And I hope you have a beautiful practice and your fitness journey.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks,
Thank you very
Sujit.
much.